Hello and welcome back to Living Abroad. Today I have an update on Greg, the homeless guy I helped out about a year and a half ago. And unfortunately, the sad news is he has passed away. He was found unresponsive near a market in Negros, which a lot of people messaged me. So I don't have any news articles or official sources, but it seems like it's verified. Multiple people have now confirmed that he's been found unresponsive and has sadly passed away. So here is what I'm talking about. Here's the initial comments that I received. Cody says, update for July 1st, 2025. He has been found deceased near the market in Salong, near Cabancalan, Negros Occidental, where he has been living at homeless for the last 10 months or so. And Tommy says he passed away today. Another person says he was found dead here in Cabalcanan, Negros Occidental. Rest in peace, Greggy. So I asked for like a link or a source, and they said another person actually responded. He's staying just near our house in front of a Sari Sari store where he was found dead. If you guys don't know the backstory of that, I was actually going to do an interview with Ian, who sadly he passed away as well. Ian, a gentleman there. And on my way to do that interview, I came across Greg, and Greg told me a story. And I did like 3 series. We tried to help him. We had like a GoFundMe page. We raised some money for him. So if you haven't seen those videos, if you want to hear the backstory of how he ended up in Cabancalan, go ahead and check those out. But so at the end, the last thing I knew was I gave him a cell phone. I gave him some money. And with everybody's help, of course, thank you guys for that. And he was on his way to Negros, which I guess he ended up going there. I lost contact with him. I ended up going to Dubai and doing my travels. I don't have a Philippine number. He never messaged me. I never got an email from him. And occasionally I'll hear some message saying, oh, I've seen him here, I've seen him there. So I guess things did not work out for him in Negros, as I found out through this other video on Facebook. So I'll show you guys this video in full. You can check it out and listen to some of the details if you can figure out what happened. Here's what I'm talking about.
Hello guys, dito subong sa gali sa salong, isa din ang foreigner nga homeless la sa YouTube, makita sa YouTube. Ari sa subong sa salong. Siya niyo, ano gani? What is your name?
My name's Greg.
What is your family name?
Rusty.
Rusty?
Rusty.
Rosie.
Rusty.
Rosie. So why don't you came here in the Philippines?
I came 8 years ago
8 years ago from
for a short while, for 3 days, and I ended up staying.
Where did you first stay here in the Philippines?
Cebu.
In Cebu. Do you have a girlfriend or?
I did have a girlfriend, a very bad girlfriend. Very bad.
So what happened? Why do you came here in Salong, in Calan City?
Well, somebody did a blog, and it was put on YouTube, and somebody offered me what I thought this would be a job and somewhere to live, and I came all the way out here, and it didn't really work out.
So guys, medyo di tama yung sarang mag-English. So better ko na lang search na sa YouTube ang homeless foreigner, kaya mo dire niyo makita ang iyang story.
You can see the blog is
Nga nagamuni sa subong nga ari subong sa Salong.
Homeless in Cebu. And
He is homeless in Cebu.
and it's where I was living in
She left by her kwan bayaan sa kuno sa iya nga
Yep.
uyab-uyab. So subong ang iya brado subong Salong. Tama gini sa kapigado subong. Gabangayo lang ni sa kung sino matag siya, gababot na sa kung sino matag siya. Gangobraya ka daw business sa Salong, pang bulig-bulig karga-karga.
I'm a bit
Mga
hard
volunteero na. So kung gusto niyo mabalaan ang story ni Greg, Rosie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Search na lang mo sa YouTube kay Aradaya. May story.
Now, for whatever reason, things did not work out there, and now he's no longer with us. I want to take this chance to say a couple things. I know a lot of people did not agree with his lifestyle. They call him a liar. And I don't want to talk bad about somebody who's no longer with us, but I don't think that really matters, to be honest. If somebody's in that position, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times out of their control, whether it's addiction, mental conditions, whatever it is, us looking from the outside perspective, we see things clearly. We would never do that. That's why we're not in that situation, for example. He ended up losing a lot of money, apparently through a relationship and all this stuff, all the whole story, the backstory there. My point is, we did our best. We try to help him out. It's not okay to judge somebody because we can never know what they were going through. But there are things that we can do ourselves, right, to make sure we don't end up like Greg. First of all, have your finances in order. So don't ever come to the Philippines thinking somehow you're going to make it happen. That's not going to work. The Philippines is a harsh place if you're just going to think you're going to come here and wing it. You know what I mean? People are resilient in the Philippines. They work hard and they can get by on very little compared to a lot of Westerners, right? So that's number one thing. I recommend come here if you have like a source of income for sure. Some kind of online job, a pension, some kind of, whatever it is, make sure you have income every single month coming in through a rental, through an investment, through your pension. You need to have that, right? So that is number one. The second thing, of course, I don't want to sound like I'm holier than thou. I've obviously made many mistakes in my life too, but if you can, please, if you're younger listening to this, don't get into like illegal substances or whatever, right? They may seem cool and fun, but usually it does not end well one way or another. It can end relationships, really destroy your finances. Now, I've been traveling for the past 6 years and I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of people, and the people that have been like really in need typically have similar background stories. They got into things they shouldn't be getting into. I've interviewed people in the Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia. They're all over the channel. You can see the interviews, and most of them that are on the streets, they kind of started the same way. You know, they thought they can come to that country, figure something out. Next thing you know, they depleted their savings. And then after that, they got into making bad decisions, and they end up being in a situation they don't want to be in. Now, Greg himself, he seemed really articulate, and it just seemed like a shame that he could not figure out the last years of his life to live. I mean, he seemed to be happy in his own way. Like I asked him several times, like, why wouldn't you go back to your home country? He told me he'd rather be homeless on the street than back in the UK. So I guess in a way, because also people said they helped him. The whole community seemed to have just like accepted him, and they were not judgmental towards him. They gave him food and water. They invited him to like sit down and have a beer with them or whatever. And they did their best to try to include him into that community. But that does not mean that you should just take, I don't know how to word this because I don't want to sound condescending. You know, once again, I'm speaking from someone that mentally capable right now, financially capable, so it's easier said than done. Sometimes people in that situation, they don't really see from the reality, right? They're just stuck in this really dark place one way or another, and they don't see a way out, you know? So it's sad that he's passed away, but I think we can try to learn something from this because it does happen occasionally where someone simply just can't cut it, right? Whatever reason it is, circumstances in life, poor choices, bad decisions, it can all lead to situations that we know we don't want to be in, right? So leave a comments down below. Let me know if you know Greg personally, if you've spoken with him, if you're from that area, if you've seen him walking around or anything like that. Because those videos generated nearly 1.5 million views, just a long format. So there's a lot of people that saw that video that may have seen him on the streets that maybe can share a story about Greg. And that's it for this video. I'm sorry it wasn't a positive update. A lot of people asked me throughout the year and a half, oh, what's going on with Greg? And I never responded because I don't have an update. We did what we could as a community to get him off the street, to put him on a boat and send him to Negros where we had like an opportunity to live somewhere for free accommodation. So that is that. Once again, thank you for watching. Unfortunately, Greg is no longer with us. I'll see you next time. Bye.